Scientists discovered that one of the largest living organisms on Earth is hiding in plain sight. It isn't a whale or a giant sequoia. It's a forest. You've probably walked through forests like it before. Thousands of trees and trunks, each one appearing to live its own separate life. Except there is one forest where that isn't true. In Utah stands a grove of quaking aspens called Pando. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary, until you learn that every tree you can see is connected beneath the ground. More than 40,000 trunks grow from a single ancient root system. Biologically, they are not separate trees at all. They are one living organism, one life, quietly spreading beneath the forest floor. And once you know that, something shifts. You realize the world is more connected than it appears. And you've been looking at the forest all along, without ever really seeing it. Because Pando doesn't just change the way you think about trees. How many other things have we misunderstood simply because we've only been looking at the surface? It makes you wonder how many parts of your own life are like this. The achievements you notice may not be the things that create them. Beneath every visible outcome is usually a hidden system. Travel northwest to Oregon, and you could walk through an ordinary forest without realizing you were standing on one of the largest living organisms on Earth. Beneath the soil, the honey fungus, Armillaria ostoyae, spreads silently through tree roots across almost 4 square miles. DNA testing revealed that what appeared to be countless separate patches was in fact a single organism. The mushrooms that appear after rain are not the fungus itself. They are only the smallest visible hint of something far larger beneath the forest floor. To understand its true size, scientists had to stop looking for a single object. Instead, they learned to look for connections. And perhaps that is where we so often go wrong. We measure what we can see, when the real story is usually hidden in the relationships underneath. For nearly 2,000 years, parts of the Roman Empire have refused to crumble. Harbors still stand against the sea. Aqueducts still carry their own weight. The Pantheon's vast dome still rises above Rome. For centuries, people assumed the Romans simply made better concrete. They didn't. The real secret was hidden inside it. Researchers studying ancient Roman concrete noticed tiny white fragments scattered through the material. For years, they were dismissed as mistakes, signs of poor mixing or imperfect craftsmanship. Then someone asked a different question. What if those imperfections were there on purpose? The answer changed everything. When tiny cracks form and rainwater seeps inside, those white fragments release minerals that slowly crystallize, sealing the crack before it can spread. In other words, the concrete repairs itself. What looked like a flaw turned out to be the reason it survived. Its greatest strength wasn't that it never cracked. It was that it knew what to do when it did. And perhaps that's another illusion the visible world encourages. We admire what appears solid, but sometimes the real strength isn't what resists change. It's the hidden system that quietly responds to it. People often admire resilience as though it's a personal quality, but resilience is usually a system. Routines, relationships, ways of thinking. Like Roman concrete, the visible strength comes from something working quietly underneath. Some cannot be touched at all. Imagine your favorite piece of music. Now imagine someone presses pause right in the middle of the melody. For a moment, there is nothing. No piano, violin, or voice. And yet, somehow, the music keeps playing. Not through your speakers, inside your mind. You already know what should come next. Your brain is quietly holding the melody in place, waiting for the next note to arrive. Researchers studying musical perception have found that when familiar music briefly falls silent, our brains often continue representing its expected pattern. The sound disappears. The structure does not. Perhaps that's why the greatest composers understand that silence is never really empty. A pause can create more anticipation than another note. A single breath before an orchestra returns can feel almost unbearable. Remove every silence from a piece of music and something curious happens. The notes are all still there, but the music somehow isn't. Because music isn't simply made of sounds. It's made of the invisible relationships between them, the timing, the expectation, the spaces that allow one note to give meaning to the next. Our lives work in much the same way. We notice events, successes, failures, but what gives them meaning is often invisible. Timing, expectation, context. By now, the pattern may be starting to feel familiar. Roots beneath a forest, fungal threads beneath the soil, hidden chemistry inside ancient concrete. And now, the invisible architecture inside a melody. Again and again, the parts we notice are being held together by something we almost never see. Some of the most powerful hidden systems aren't buried beneath forests. Look at your keyboard. Why do the first 6 letters spell QWERTY? Most of us have never wondered. The arrangement simply feels inevitable, as though the alphabet somehow belongs that way. It doesn't. In fact, every time you type, you're using the solution to a problem that no longer exists. The first typewriters were mechanical machines. Press the wrong keys too quickly, and their metal arms could collide and jam. Inventors experimented with different layouts, searching for one that made the machines practical. Exactly how QWERTY emerged is still debated, but those early mechanical limitations clearly shaped its development. Then something curious happened. The problem disappeared. The metal arms and ink ribbons disappeared. Eventually, even the keys themselves disappeared, replaced by glass screens. But the pattern remained. Billions of people now carry a keyboard designed for a machine that almost none of us have ever used. Not because it's necessarily the perfect arrangement, because systems have a remarkable tendency to outlive the reasons they were created. Once enough people learn them, and schools teach them, or businesses build around them, the invisible pattern becomes stronger than the original problem. Without noticing it, we inherit yesterday's solutions and quietly carry them into tomorrow. Many parts of your own life work this way. Habits, institutions, traditions, even beliefs. They survive long after the reasons for creating them have disappeared. There is a pattern running through every story we've explored. A forest that is really one tree. A fungus spreading silently beneath the soil. Concrete that heals itself. A melody shaped as much by silence as by sound. A keyboard still carrying the logic of a machine long forgotten. At first, they seem completely unrelated, but none of them are really stories about forests, or fungi, or music, or keyboards. They're stories about hidden systems, the quiet structures that give shape to everything we notice, while remaining almost invisible themselves. Perhaps that's true of our own lives too. We naturally pay attention to the moments we can point to, but beneath those moments are countless hidden systems, relationships, ideas, habits, history, connections stretching further than we can see. The visible world tells us what happened. Hidden systems help explain why. Tomorrow you'll probably walk past a tree, hear a familiar piece of music, or type a message. Nothing about those moments will seem extraordinary, unless, for just a second, you find yourself asking, What hidden system is at work here? Because once you begin looking for the systems instead of just the things, the ordinary world becomes extraordinary, not because it has changed, because you've learned to see a little deeper. Until next time, keep noticing.